Well, unfortunately, lying is a relatively common behavior in children, but as our next guest says, it does take effort and quick thinking. Children learn to lie as young as 2 years old, but it is not till they are older that they learn to lie well. Joining us now is Dr. Tracy Alloway. She has the details. Good to see you, Dr. Alloway.
Good to see you,
always.
Casey.
We appreciate you being here. Thanks for bringing in your research.
Yes.
You say it's really tied to a working memory in children, and that you correlate with the lying. So first of all, what is working memory?
Working memory is the memory that we use to remember something, but also work with it at the moment. And lying in children especially is a sign of intelligence, as we discovered in my recent research.
So it's a good thing.
It can be. It can be.
Okay, all right,
Frustrating as a parent. But
okay, so children are lying. We know they're lying. It's very transparent. What do we need to know about how the brain is working, how we should react to it? The whole 9 yards.
Well, we're seeing a shift happen. So children lie as young as 2 years old, as you mentioned, but it's only around 6 or 7 that they begin to lie well. And that's linked to a key part of brain development. And that's the front of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, where it's the home of our working memory, where we learn to actually think of what we want to say that's not correct. We have to keep in mind what the other person, usually our parent, we think that they know about the situation, and then keep in mind the lie that we're telling them, and also have to store it so if we're asked again, we can remember that. So contrast that, a 2-year-old, you've got crumbs in the face. Did you eat the cookies I left out? No. Why are there crumbs in your face? Oh, you must have put it there, Mom. To fast forward, when they're 6 years old, you've got crumbs in your face. Oh, I must have fallen down, or they try to think of something more plausible, but they have to use their working memory to remember that explanation so that they can remember that.
Okay, so we learned that they're using their brains. They're smart little kids. But what do we do when they're 2? And then we're going to get up to being older. So when they're lying at 2, and it's clearly that how should you react to that? What should you? I mean, just as you said, oh no, let's walk them through the process. Like, oh, you have crumbs in your face. Clearly, you're not telling the truth.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Usually at that age, they're just trying to see. They're trying to test their boundaries. It's not malicious. They're actually just trying to see, and it's part of their cognitive development. They're trying to see what they remember, what they think and it's something called theory of mind, what psychologists call theory of mind. And this is based on the idea that they have a theory that they have their own mind, but they're also realizing that other people may have a different mind, meaning that they have a different perspective or a different way of thinking. And part of lying behavior is a way to explore, well, how differently do they feel about that? So again, think of a young child. If you're sad, they may try to comfort you by bringing their favorite stuffed animal to you, because they don't realize that you may have a different way to comfort yourself, a cup of coffee or whatever that might be. But that changes as they get older. And part of lying is figuring out, what are they really thinking, and how does that match with what I know that they're thinking?
As the children get older, what do you need to do to ensure that you're not, not that you're promoting that behavior, but you're kind of nipping it in the bud a little bit? Like, this is unacceptable that you're lying. Like, what do you recommend that parents do?
Definitely let them know that it's not a good principle to lie. But the good news is that we do see in research that lying does decline as they get older, because it's not socially acceptable. Who wants to play with the kid on the playground that's always lying about some activity or some event that happened? So socially, there's a lot of peer pressure, positive peer pressure, to minimize that lying. But certainly as a parent, what you can do is focus on, the reason for why that they're lying. So try to find out, are they lying because they're worried to tell you something? Are they lying because they're just trying to be, push the boundaries? And again, recognizing that it's not necessarily coming from a bad place, and trying to figuring out what that is and working with them.
Do you think that that's good? we're going to start doing parenting segments on here. We can the whole crew, we want to take our notebooks out. But do you think that that's good practice in general, is if there is a behavior that's unacceptable, or to talk them through it, to try to expose things? I mean, because it seems like that you and I talking, that's kind of your approach to working with the child psychology.
Definitely, and I think that goes along with the idea of theory of mind. They're already developing this idea that they may have a different way of thinking, and what better way to foster and encourage that by recognizing and helping them be aware that, when you lied to me, it makes me feel this way, or it makes me think this way. So they're recognizing the consequences rather than just coming in with the punitive action right away, but actually seeing the real world implications of that consequence when they tell a lie or a falsehood like that.
Okay, very good. Good to see you.
You too,
Thank
Casey.
you as always. We appreciate your information, and thanks to Dr. Alloway, of course, for always coming on. More information on her, you can go to tracyalloway.com. She has 8 books now published.
Yeah.
Very impressive, including The Working Memory Advantage. You can go there for more information. You can get all of her great books. I have them stacked on my nightstand. Just got to remember to read them.